So meanwhile, as the operations in Gaza intensifies right now, so does the international pressure. We're very lucky to have Republican Representative Rob Wittman from Virginia. He's on the House Armed Services Committee and the vice chairman of the Select Committee on China. So first, Happy New Year to you, Congressman. I want to start with the Middle East, though. So the French president has called the Israeli prime minister, saying that they need to work towards a ceasefire. So is Hamas trying to drag this out to turn international pressure?
Well, Ed, first of all, Israel has the right to defend itself, and I don't support a ceasefire. In fact, I don't see how you can accomplish a durable ceasefire against a terrorist organization, against an organization that says that they are out to destroy Israel, one that says that they don't recognize Israel's right to exist. Israel's effort to destroy Hamas's capabilities and their capacity is purely within, I think, a needed strategy, much as what was pursued with ISIS and al-Qaeda. That's what Israel's doing. We need to stand in support of Israel. In fact, the House has done that. The House has passed an aid bill to Israel to help them in this effort to defend themselves.
Right. And Rob, you touched on it's day 83 of the war between Israel and Hamas. And no one told the U.S. when to stop going after al-Qaeda. October 7th was Israel's 9/11. Should other countries, including the U.S., be dictating a timeline for operations for Israel?
Absolutely not, Ed. This is about Israel's survival. It's about their ability to make sure that they don't have this constant threat at their doorstep. I mean, we've seen in the past where they haven't taken out Hamas's capability, and it rises up again. Israel has said this time unequivocally they are going to take out Hamas. I believe that they have that right to defend themselves, and the United States needs to be there to support them.
So looking at Iranian proxies, at least 106 times those proxies funded by Iran have attacked U.S. positions in the Middle East. Now we have critically injured soldier who's being treated for. Is it time for the U.S. to act now preemptively against Iran to get all of those groups just to back off?
The U.S. should have been acting preemptively months ago. We saw this capability building. We saw these attacks being launched. We should go right after the capability for Iran and Iranian-backed forces to perpetrate these attacks in Iraq and Syria. And we even see, too, them sponsoring the Houthis. That instability in the region is purely at the hands of Iranian-backed support. We need to go after their capability. This weakness by the Biden administration and failed policies of not fully enforcing the sanctions, of even contemplating releasing $6 billion in assets, just emboldens Iran and their proxies in the region. It's a failed policies. Preemptive action to go after their capability to perpetrate these attacks needs to happen now, but it should have happened months ago.
So I want to ask you about China. Put your China hat on. It struck me that the Chinese president told President Biden that he was taking Taiwan one way or another. It's been reported. Right after that meeting, we heard how good it went from the president. And I was there. I was at that news conference in Woodside, California, after the leaders met. So there were no strong words for China. Does that concern you?
It deeply concerns me. We need to believe Xi Jinping when he says that they are going to take Taiwan by force. We need to believe him when he tells his military to be ready to take Taiwan by force by 2027. We understand what is going to happen in the region. Our allies do, too. When I traveled across the Indo-Pacific in August and met with our allies, met with Japan, with the Philippines, with Taiwan, with Australia, they are fully committed to make sure that we deter Xi Jinping. Weak response, weak language by this administration only encourages Xi Jinping. I want to make sure that we are doing everything possible. In fact, this year's National Defense Authorization, Ed, has some unbelievable efforts in it that are going to deter China. If we continue along that path in doing the things necessary with our military and doing things necessary with our allies, we have a chance to deter China before 2027. But we have to do that with a sense of urgency.
And Congressman, I want to get this within the last 30 seconds. I want to ask this question. Do you think businesses, American businesses, need to move away from China and their reliance or trying to get into the Chinese economy?
Actions speak louder than words, Ed. Absolutely. Our United States businesses need to act. They need to disenfranchise China through their economic ties. I think that's the quickest way for China to see that our efforts are serious and those efforts will have an impact on China. Xi Jinping understands one thing and one thing only, and that is assertive action.
Yeah.
Businesses need to do that. If they do, there will be an impact on China.
Congressman Rob Wittman from Virginia, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for your